watching History in the Air right now. This is the Navy Legacy flight. You have the F4U Corsair flanked by the EA-18 Growlers. The Corsair, nicknamed by the Japanese as whistling death because of the high-pitched sound it would make. This is from the World War II, Korean War era, and of course flanked by the EA-18s.
So in the 1950s, the Corsairs were responsible for about 80% of the Marine and Navy ground strike operations. At the end of World War II, Japanese pilots frankly were afraid when they saw those planes coming.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, sometimes metrics actually do matter in warfare, and I believe the Corsair had a rate of losing one of its own for every 11 enemy aircraft that were shot down. Right.
Yeah.
Now you want to credit the pilot in the cockpit for a lot of that, but when you have an 11-to-1 ratio, you have to give some amount of credit to the technology. And as we're watching the Legacy flight, 50 years from now, that EA-18 will be the old plane, right? And it'll be something new and cool. But the idea that these aircraft are flying in formation is that blend of past and present pointing towards the future, because while the technology has changed, the professionalism of the aviators is what has been constant for decades.
Talking about the technology, Sean, because Rob mentioned just the technology with the flight suits, how they've evolved over time. So take me back to like when the Corsair was in action. What were those pilots wearing at the time?
They were probably dressed like bankers. They were wearing, you know, slacks with sport coats, basically, and a bus driver cap. But nowadays, the integration between the man and the machine starts and ends at the flight suit. So when we would strap into the aircraft, we're connecting communication cables, oxygen hoses, night vision goggles are being dialed into the aircraft instruments. And where the plane stops and the pilot starts is a little bit fuzzier than when these guys, because when these guys were flying Corsairs, everything was analog. You had to visually acquire the adversary. You had to manually maneuver the aircraft. Now, the engineers that design these planes make it so that we can do a lot of what is called BVR, so beyond visual range engagement.
Let's talk, we've talked about the Corsair. Let's switch gears now and get to the plane flanking on the outside, the EA-18 Growler. For those who, when we were looking about the alphabet soup, EA, this is electronic warfare. This is scrambling signals on the ground to blind and deafen the enemy. Speaking of deafen, you don't fight thunder.
That's right, baby.
So we are, again, this was to blind and deafen the enemy so you can go in, get your job done, and get out without getting hit.
So the aircraft, the 18, it looks like the same silhouette as the F-18, made famous recently with the Top Gun 2.0 that came out. The EA-18 is electronic attack. So rather than relying exclusively on a kinetic strike where you're putting munition onto a ground target, this thing can manipulate the electromagnetic spectrum.
Hello.
Wow.
If that doesn't get your heart going,
that was awesome.
It's funny because I saw it coming behind your head, and that's where we see a plane that's moving faster than sound. It had already passed us by the time.
And the crowd is cheering.
Ripping through the air. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, let's check in with Julie Dolan and Monica Harkins. Hey, guys.
Guys, we're absolutely enjoying this air show coming right over top of the Belvedere. I keep holding Julie's arm, but we do want to get you to some more of our wonderful presenting sponsors. Meyer has been another long-time sponsor for 18 years.
Of course, we always look forward to the Meyer moment right before the fireworks show.
And we have Alyssa Upton here to tell us a little bit about it. For those who might not know what the Meyer moment is, tell us what they can expect.
Yeah, you know, it's one of the most exciting parts for me, for sure. It's an opportunity where we ask for folks from both sides of the river to hold up your cell phone light or a glow stick. It's just an opportunity for us to come together as a community and really shine together.
And for families who are still thinking about coming out here, there's a Meyer Family Fun Zone, so tell us about that and what it's like for Meyer to give back to the community and why it's so important.
Yeah, I will tell you that is one of the things that I'm most proud of, to be a part of the Meyer team. So we actually, as a company, give back 6% at least minimum to all of our net profits back to the community. And one of the small ways that we do that is with the Meyer Family Fun Zone. We pulled out the stops this year, so we have bouncy houses and touch a truck and foaling, which is a take on.
But the Family Fun Zone is going to be awesome. I hope a lot of folks stop by. Alyssa, thank you so much for being here. And thanks to Meyer for being a presenting sponsor.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. All right, Gil and Lindsay, we're going to hand it back over to you guys.
This is a legacy flight, and I said it's like the Growler put the Corsair to bed and was like, all right, we've seen what you can do. Now look what we can do now. It's where we've been and where we're going.